Bang, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Chronicle. Hare Krishna, devotees.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Welcome to ISKCON Richmond Saturday program. Prabhuji, we can start, or you need some more time, or?
Maybe a minute. In a minute we can start.
Yeah, sure, no problem, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to ISKCON Richmond Saturday program. Sorry, Prabhuji, we can start, or you need some more time, or? Yeah, sure, no problem, Prabhuji.
We can start.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Again, there is some lag in the in my laptop and my background. Sorry about that. And let me give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Prabhuji has been in ISKCON movement for more than 3 decades. And Prabhuji is one of the very senior disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. And
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji has been serving in different capacities in ISKCON movement. And Prabhuji served as the president. I think there is some. Krishna, everyone. Again, there is some lag in the in my laptop and my background. Sorry about that. And let me give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Prabhuji has been in ISKCON movement for more than 3 decades. And Prabhuji is one of the very senior disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. And has been serving in different capacities in ISKCON movement. And Prabhuji served as the president.
Oh.
I think there is some-
Shall we get started, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji, please.
Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So can you make me co-host, please? Thank you, Prabhu.
So,
Thank you very
Prabhuji,
much.
before you start, just wanted to give you, there is some medical emergencies on all the congregation members. So today we could see very limited participation for the class.
Oh, what transpired, Prabhu, if you don't mind? You know?
Maybe I can explain you off the screen.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank all the devotees from ISKCON for giving me opportunity, especially Divanam Prabhu, Shyam Hari Prabhu. They have been very kind to give me an opportunity to serve all the devotees from Richmond in ISKCON of Richmond. So I hope and pray to the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that bless everyone with the ample opportunity to perform devotional service. I'm not sure what kind of emergency, but pray for the well-being of all the devotees, and I hope they rise above all the difficulties to engage in pure devotional service and serve the mission of Guru and Gauranga. So just to give brief recap of what we have discussed last week, we were discussing about the pastime from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam of the churning of the milk ocean. The demigods being cursed by the Durvasa Muni lost all the opulences and defeated by demons, and under the instruction of the Supreme Lord declared a truce with the demons to engage in the churning of the milk ocean. And the demigods and demons, they agreed together to actually perform this Herculean task, where the ocean of the milk to be churned using Mandara mountain as the churning rod and using Vasuki as the rope. And we also discussed about how they were, in the effort of bringing the Mandara mountain, the demigods and demons were crushed under the mountain, and the Lord Ajita, he revived them and putting them on the Garuda, back of Garuda, brought them back to Kshirosagar. So the demigods, after Garuda left, they approached Vasuki and they promised him that when the nectar is produced, he will also receive some portion to drink it. So with that with that bribe, Vasuki agreed, because Vasuki knew that it was going to be very hard on him, especially because Mandar mountain is made of gold, solid gold, and using the body of snake, if you have to rotate the mountain back and forth, clockwise and anti-clockwise direction, it will be, if somebody is going to suffer most, that will be Vasuki. But Vasuki agreed. The nature of sense gratification is people are willing to go through any amount of difficulty. Of course, here it was the wish of the Supreme Lord, but Vasuki had no intention of doing pure devotional service, because the Lord is asking, therefore I should, be willing to do this. He agreed out of greed for having nectar. So people in this world, they are willing to go through any amount of trouble to satisfy their desires for sense gratification. I remember many years ago, I was in a place in South India called Subramaniam. So there's the beautiful temple of Skanda, Lord Kartikeya, who's also known as Subramaniam. So the entire township is named after Subramaniam Swami. So there's a temple of Subramaniam Swami, the Kartikeya, and the town is named as Subramaniam. So I used to chant my rounds, during Brahma Muhurta, and as the sun would rise, I would be sitting in the courtyard of the temple. And after finishing my chanting of 16 rounds, I would sit and read Bhagavatam there. So I was reading that time the episode of Chitraketu Maharaj, where Chitraketu Maharaj was eager to have a child, and therefore he married so many wives. The exact count is given as 10 million wives he married just to have a child, because he couldn't have a child from any one of those wives. So when I was sitting in the temple courtyard, I would see there was a lake, nearby. People early in the morning, they would take a dip in the lake along with the clothes, and with the wet clothes, they would come in front of the temple door. And the temple had a big courtyard. So there's a temple building in the center, and there's a big courtyard around the temple. And the temple had, very long and very wide perimeter. So it was like a rectangular, square shape, but very long. So the courtyard around the temple was also very huge. So these people would take the dip in the lake and come with the wet clothing, fall flat in front of the temple door, offering pranam to Subramaniam Swami, Kartikeya. And while lying in that state, with stretched arms, they would start rolling on the ground, going around the entire temple, doing rolling parikrama. And I saw so many people were doing it. And it's not that the courtyard temple, had marble. It had a very rough stone, So when they were actually doing rolling parikrama, many of the people I see there, the body was, their skin was peeled, and but still they were doing it. So I asked somebody, why they're doing this parikrama? What is the purpose? They say, if you do one parikrama, one of your cherished desire will be fulfilled by the mercy of Subramaniam Swami. So, as I was reading this Chitraketu Maharaj episode, and I was meditating on these people, how they simply fulfill their one desire. They are struggling so much. They are willing to even go through so much inconvenience, having cuts all over their body, so that they can have the one desire fulfilled. So, when I was reading Chitraketu Maharaj's pastime, I was thinking Chitraketu Maharaj had 10 million wives. Now, these 10 million wives you can compare with desire. Each wife can be a comparison with the desire. And having a child is a fulfillment of the desire. That's why a person has wife is so that he can have children. So, fulfillment of the desire, Chitraketu Maharaj was so desperate to. And by the mercy of Angira Muni, he had the fulfillment of desire, but only one. Not all his 10 million wives could beget the child. Only one could have a child. So, his desire was fulfilled. One desire was fulfilled. One of his wife could have actually child. But what Chitraketu Maharaj did not realize was that the other wife, which can be compared with the other desires. So living entity has innumerable desires stored in their consciousness. So Chitraketu Maharaj, he was happy that one of his desires is fulfilled. He has child through one of his wives. But he forgot that other desires, which are in the form of other wives, which are actually like desire, will not let him happily. And that's what happened. They actually poisoned the child and brought much, much more misery. So people in this world, they think if my one desire is fulfilled, very cherished desire, I'll be happy. But that's not true. When your one desire is fulfilled, the other desires that you have, they surface up and they make your life miserable. Because we have unlimited desires stored in our consciousness from millions and millions of births. So if we try to fulfill the desires in the material world, we will be actually suffering only. Will bring more and more suffering upon us. But anyway, the Vasuki, he agreed. He agreed that he will go through the suffering to have the nectar. So the Vasuki was put around the Mandara mountain. Mandara mountain was already there in the ocean. It was wrapped around, Vasuki was wrapped around the Mandara mountain, and the Lord went forward to catch the mouth. The Vasuki is like a rope. So one side is tail, one side is mouth. So Lord went and caught hold of the mouth side. And the demigods followed. They also, went and caught on the mouth side. And the demons, they didn't like this. They stood there, expressing their unapproval of the Lord's actions. Mahapurusha Cheshtitam. So the Supreme Lord's Cheshta, the actions were not very much appreciated by demons. They were thinking, why shall we be catching the tail side? Because the tail of the snake is considered inauspicious. The tail side is, they were thinking the mouth, the face is considered auspicious and tail is considered inauspicious. But they forgot one thing. In the case of snake, the mouth is a dangerous place. Because there is so much poison in the mouth of the snake. They're thinking we are also, educated. We are also sons of Kashyapa Muni. We have done, a lot of great and Herculean tasks as well. Why shall we catch the tail of the snake? We will not. This is the nature of a demoniac mentality. The Lord was actually trying to save the demons from the trouble, because Lord could foresee what is coming up, as we'll see in the course of churning what happened. So Lord could see what is going to transpire. He wanted to save the demons from the trouble. But demons didn't like that idea. Srila Prabhupada, in this regard, actually explains that the demoniac people, they always have the mentality of opposing the Lord. The Lord has made arrangement. For example, we have cows, right? So the Lord has made arrangement. You can take the milk from the cow and make so many beautiful, nice preparations. But the demons will say, no, milk is allergen. Milk causes allergy. It's not good. We shouldn't drink milk. We should eat beef. We should cut the throat of the cow and eat beef. That will be very nice. This is a demonic mentality. And they suffer. They suffer because of, not only the karmically they suffer, but even eating the meat. In this lifetime also, they suffer so many ailments and so the Lord understood the intention of the demons and he smiled. He smiled, indicating demon that you people are going to die. Not die exactly, suffer. Death-like suffering is going to come upon you. So Lord went and caught the tail, and all the demigods also followed. And the demons were happy. They caught hold of Vasuki's mouth. And the churning started. They started to rotate the Mandara mountain. But just few moments after they started the churning, the Mandara mountain, because it was made of solid gold, it has no support beneath. So it slipped from the coils of Vasuki and drowned and disappeared in the ocean of milk. And just you can imagine, all the demons and demigods, they were holding tight to Vasuki and, stretching both the sides so that the Mandara mountain should be oiled. But because the mountain was so heavy, it slipped away. You can imagine their condition. They became so morose. First, they were morose when the mountain fell on the demons and demigods. They crushed their limbs. We can't even carry this to Shirisagar. Carrying the mountain from Jambudweep to Shirisagar was a long distance. So they realized we can't carry. So they became morose. And now, with great difficulty, somehow that by Lord's mercy, the mountain was there and it drowned inside the ocean. So they became very morose. Demigods and demons both became morose. But the demigods, they turned towards the Lord. Demons don't. They don't turn to the Lord when they come across some difficulty. But the demigods, the one good thing about demigods, they always turn to the Supreme Lord. So the Lord understood what he has to do in order to, solve this particular problem. So the Lord took the shape of a huge turtle, Kurma. And he went inside the Shirasagar, deep inside the sagar, lifted the Mandara mountain on his back. Now, Mandara mountain had, the base of Mandara mountain was 10,000 yojanas. Now, for that huge mountain to come on the turtle, because how big can be a turtle? In this world, we see, generally people see small turtles. The biggest turtle I've seen was in Vrindavan in Kusum Sarovar. It was huge, very huge. It was almost like 4 feet, 4 to 5 feet long turtle. It would come up. So that's how, and sometime in the ocean you'll find a few feet, maybe 10, 15 feet bigger turtle. But this turtle, because the Mandara mountain was 10 yojanas, that is 80,000 miles wide at the base. So the Lord took a huge, much bigger form. The size of this turtle was 100,000 yojanas. That is 800,000 miles. You can imagine the size of Jambu Dvipa is 100,000 yojanas. So Lord took exactly the size of Jambu Dvipa. So it appeared as if there was another Jambu Deepa had appeared in Kshirosagar. Because Kshirosagar's width is 1.6 million yojanas. Kshirosagar is 1.6 million yojanas. And in that 100,000 yojanas, 1 lakh yojanas is not a big thing. So it appeared like another Jambu Deepa had appeared in the Kshirosagar. So when the demigods and demons, they saw now again, the Mandara mountain had appeared on the surface and the back of the turtle, they started churning. They became so enthused that their problem is solved. They started rotating with great vigor. They started rotating the mountain. When they were rotating the mountain, it was scratching the back of Kurma. Now just imagine the huge golden mountain being scratched on the, it would be very painful. But the Lord, because he had accepted this huge form of Kurma, he accepted this, the scratching. It's like somebody scratching your back. When you have some itching on the back and somebody scratches, it's a very pleasing sensation. So for the Kurma, this churning of the milk ocean, the rotating of the Mandara mountain was a very pleasing sensation. It was not at all painful for the Lord. Lord does not perform any pastimes, any leela for being miserable. He does everything for simply experiencing the pleasures. So he accepted this as a service from demigods and demons and Vasuki, to be scratching his back. But then the Lord realized that in spite of the demigods and demons rotating, their energy was going down because this Mandara mountain is huge. Rotating it, they got really fatigued very quickly. So the Lord, who is the Lord of material energy, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti, Suyate Sacharacharam. This material nature functions under my supervision. So the Lord, understanding that the demons and demigods were getting fatigued and Vasuki was also feeling a lot of pain. You can imagine the rough surface of the mountain with all the stones and being scratching the body of Vasuki, because Vasuki's body is soft, snake's body is very soft. So the soft body was being cut. So Vasuki was also feeling pain, tremendous pain. So the Lord, in order to enthuse all of them, he entered in the demons as a mode of passion. And the demigods, he entered as the mode of goodness. And in Vasuki, he entered as tamoguna, as mode of ignorance. Now, this is actually a very significant lesson. Living entity in the material world, they are very much subjugated by the three modes. The demons, they were thinking, we are going to drink the nectar and we are going to become immortal. So this was the passion they had, that we are going to enjoy the life. We will be free from disease or old age, and we will be free from death by drinking this nectar, and we will enjoy the life. Long duration of life, we will enjoy without any hindrance. So this was their desire, passionate desire to enjoy. And with that anticipation, they were enthused more, put more vigor in that. And demigods, because they are the devotees of the Lord, they were thinking by the influence of mode of goodness that we are devotees of the Lord, and the Lord wants this churning to be happening. So we will put all, even the last speck of our energy, even if we have to die, we will put all our energy to please the Lord. So we will churn this milk ocean and use all our energy to please the Lord. And Vasuki, because tamoguna, Tamoguna makes you practically oblivious to all the suffering. Like, sometimes when they perform the surgery in the operation theater, they perform surgery, they give anesthesia, they give some, injection or they make them smell some gas which makes the whole body inert, go into deep tamoguna. And then they cut the body, they cut open it, and the person doesn't feel any pain. If the person is awake and conscious and you cut open the body, he'll be in so much pain. He'll be screaming. But by the dint of that anesthesia. So ignorance, tamoguna is like anesthesia. It makes the living entity completely oblivious to the suffering. The person is suffering immensely, but makes him oblivious to suffering, and therefore the person can continue to live. So Vasuki, if the tamoguna had not entered in Vasuki, he would have died. So much excruciating pain he was going through because of churning of the milk ocean. He would have died immediately. So all the demigods and demons along with Vasuki, they started churning with great vigor and enthusiasm, because of the modes of material nature. The Lord entered into them as modes of material nature. But then, because they were churning with so much vigor, though the mountain was on the back of Kurma, but it was being raised again back of the Kurma. So it was not steady. It was just going up and down, up and down. It was just sometimes come out of the milk ocean. So the Supreme Lord Ajita, seeing that the mountain was not steady on the back of Kurma, he took the huge form like another mountain. But this was a blue mountain because the Lord's complexion is dark blue, like the monsoon rain cloud. So he held it with his hand, on the top. He held it with the hand and he stood on top of the mountain. So because of the weight of Ajita, the mountain became steady. So from the top, it was having heavy, burden for the mountain, and that beneath there was Kurma. And the demons and demigods started churning. Now the mountain was steady and churning. And before the churning started, they had put a lot of herbs and different kinds of vegetation in the milk ocean under the instruction of the Lord. And of course, Vaishnava Acharya has explained that, when you actually add certain kinds of herbs in the milk, because milk is considered nutritious food. In fact, on the surface of the earth, there is no comparison of the milk. Milk is the most nutritious and best food on the earth. Nothing better than milk. It's unfortunate that people have allergies to milk, because they have spoiled their, body or system so badly because of karmas that they can't even drink milk. But milk is considered the most nutrition and best food. It not only physically promotes the health, but it also develops finer brain tissues by which a person can understand the subject matter of spirituality better. So all the herbs were put in the ocean of the milk, and they were churning. You can imagine such a beautiful sight. The white ocean of milk is white, right? And it's actually very interesting how the ocean of milk doesn't get polluted. Because if you leave the bowl of milk, in your room, if you leave for 2 or 3 days, it will rot. But this milk ocean has fresh milk all the time. It is created by the mercy of the Lord. It never gets rotten. it always remains fresh milk. So beautiful, white ocean, milk ocean. In that, there's the golden Mandara mountain. And on top of it, there is a mountain, like a sapphire mountain of Ajita, the Supreme Lord, who appeared also like a huge mountain. It was such a beautiful sight. So the most amazing thing is in this entire churning of milk ocean is demons and demigods may think that they are churning, but actually without the kurma beneath, the Lord who was supporting the Mandara Mount, the churning was not possible. So the Lord was supporting beneath, the Lord was supporting the mountain above, and he had entered in demons, demigods, and Vasuki, as Sattva, Raja, and the demon says Rajoguna and demigods as Sattoguna and Vasuki as Tamoguna. So actually, entire churning was being done by the Lord himself. And still the Lord saw that nothing is coming up from the ocean of milk. So with his powerful arms, Lord Ajita, he had 1,000 arms. So with one arm and he was holding the mountain on the top, and with other hands he actually started churning the milk ocean. With his own hands, he started helping the demigods and demons to churn the milk ocean. And when this churning was going on, Vasuki was strained so much that he started emanating fire from, and a lot of poison was coming out from his mouth. So this poison, by the dint of the fire that was coming from his mouth, was getting evaporated, becoming like a thick smoke, poisonous smoke. And that poisonous fumes and the smoke was destroying the vitality of demons because they were very close to the mouth side. Because when you inject the poison in your body, the body will definitely become weak. People don't realize when they smoking cigarettes, is actually you're taking the poison in your body. The tobacco, for example, is actually a very poisonous herb. It is filled with poison. And they take in the form of smoke, the body becomes weaker. So it was actually depleting the vitality of demons. Their bodies, their garments, everything was covered with the black soot. Even the demigods who were standing far, far away from the mouth side, even they were affected. Even their bodies and clothing were covered with the smoke. You can imagine how much effect there must be on the demons because they were so close by. But then, by the mercy of the Lord, the clouds appeared and started drizzling slight, very thin showers of the rain to rejuvenate especially the demigods. And the pleasant breeze started flowing from the demigod side. Because demigods had taken shelter. They were being affected by the poison, but they were taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So this is a very and a person who takes shelter of Krishna, a person who practices the process of Krishna consciousness. Even poisons do not affect them so much. By the mercy of the Lord, even the poisons do not affect the devotee. Just like in Ramanujacharya's case, Ramanujacharya, when he was living in Sri Rangam, the Pujari of Sri Rangam temple had become inimical towards Ramanujacharya. So he plotted to poison Sripada Ramanujacharya. He invited Ramanujacharya to his home and he gave, very deadly poison which was sufficient to kill 10,000 elephants. He gave it to his wife and told to mix in the food. So when Ramanujacharya arrived to home, somehow the Pujari was not there and the wife served him the food, But then, she was the pious lady, so she felt, seeing the innocent face of Ramanujacharya, she thought that this is not appropriate. So she told him, my dear sir, please don't eat this food. My husband instructed me to put poison in this. So please don't eat. Ramanujacharya was surprised. So he left without eating the food. And when the Pujari came back, the wife told him that she couldn't resist, and she told him. And the Pujari was so angry, he chastised his wife. But then he thought, okay, I have to only do something. So he decided in the next day, because Ramanujacharya used to come every day in the morning to take darshan of the Lord and take Charnamrit. So next day he decided he would put that same poison in Charnamrit. Especially for Ramanujacharya, he would pour the poison. Not for everyone else, but for Ramanujacharya. So when Ramanujacharya came to take darshan next day, this Pujari, he actually mixed the poison in the Charnamrit. And he served Ramanujacharya. And Ramanujacharya, knowing very well that this Pujari has mixed the poison, looking at the beautiful form of Ranganath Swami, he drank it. And after drinking, he felt so much ecstasy. His body started shivering out of ecstasy because he felt, I drank the Charnamrit, the water that his feet, that washed the body of the Lord. With that anticipation, he actually became ecstatic, and the body started shivering. And the Pujari thought, oh, the poison is actually working. And Ramanujacharya, in ecstasy, he fell down, and then he got up and started dancing. And then the Pujari realized that my poison was actually useless, didn't act on Ramanujacharya. Then he realized the position of Ramanujacharya, and he fell at the feet of Ramanujacharya and begged forgiveness from him. So, by the mercy of the Lord, the devotees, of course, they don't try to inject the poison. They don't take to any intoxication. But even if sometime accidentally, by some means or ways, the poison is injected in them, it doesn't necessarily act in the same way it would act on others. So, because still the nectar was not coming, so the Lord with his vigorous arm started churning the mountain. That disturbed all the fishes, the crocodile. When Lord started also, churning the milk ocean, it created such a tremendous disturbance in the ocean. All the fishes, crocodiles, timis, makaras, timingalas, they were very much agitated. You can imagine the water was, it was creating kind of so much motion in the ocean that all the living entities in the ocean, they were very much agitated and disturbed. And when the Lord was churning along with the demons and demigods, immediately, because there were so many herbs were put inside, and the herbs had beneficial, qualities, and they also had poisonous qualities. So the first poison had to come out. So the very first thing that came out of the ocean, churning of the milk ocean, was the halahar, the poison named halahar. And this poison was sufficient to destroy the entire universe. The whole universe was getting affected by this poison. And the demigods and demons, they were again disturbed seeing this poison. None of them, they had ability to deal with this poison. It was not something they had ever seen. It was such a deadly poison. Now, of course, the Supreme Lord Ajita was there. He could have dealt with it, but the Lord wanted to give the glory to his devotee, Lord Shiva. So, all the demigods and demons, along with the Supreme Lord Ajita, they went to Kailash. And they took shelter of Lord Shiva. And they offered such beautiful prayers to Lord Shiva. those prayers, would take, if we start actually discussing those prayers will take, at least couple of hours to just discuss those beautiful prayers that demigods and demons offered. They went to Kailash and they were offering prayers to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was seated with his wife Parvati and his associates, those who worship, the great sages who worship Lord Shiva. All the Ganas headed by Nandi, they were also sitting. So when the demigods and demons, they approached Lord Shiva and started offering beautiful prayers, and they prayed, "My dear Lord, only you can deal with this poison that has resulted." They narrated to him what had exactly transpired. He said this churning of the milk ocean has resulted in bringing forth this deadly poison, halahar. So please, only you can deal with it. Of course, Lord Shiva, he is the Supreme Lord. Also, he's also one of the Guna avatars of the Supreme Lord. So in that sense, he's not different from the Lord. As Brahma says in Brahma Samhita, Shriram yatha dhadi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nahi tatha prithagasti heto yahasham bhutam api tatha samupayati karyam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Lord Govinda, he appears as Lord Shiva, as Shambhu. Just like when the milk is touched by the yogurt, it transforms into yogurt. So similarly, when the Supreme Lord gets in touch with Tamoguna, get in touch with Tamoguna doesn't mean that he becomes influenced by Tamoguna, but he controls and manages Tamoguna for the entire universe. So because the Supreme Lord is managing the Tamoguna, he is known as Shiva. Because Supreme Lord Vishnu, he has nothing to do with the three modes of material nature. Krishna is completely aloof from the three modes of material nature, Vishuddha Sattva, not even touched by Sattva-guna, completely situated in Vishuddha Sattva. So, Lord Shiva, because he is not different from the Supreme Lord that way, he turned to Parvati and he told Parvati, he expressed the desire to Parvati that I'm going to drink this poison. So you should give me the permission, because husband doesn't generally do things independently. Husband and wife should be doing the things together. And this was a major decision. Of course, not small things that, suppose the husband is good to, or wife has to go to get some sabjis. She said, okay, tell me what sabjis I should get. No, nothing like that. If some major decision is coming up, then there should be consultation. And this drinking halahana, this drinking huge quantity of poison, it was a major decision. So Lord Shiva, he asked Parvati that please give me a permission, because the Lord is very pleased. Parvati is also Vaishnavi. She is also a devotee of the Lord. So the Lord is very much pleased, Lord Shiva said, when we try to remove the of other living entities. This is the wonderful lesson. When we try to remove the sufferings of other living entities, Krishna becomes extremely pleased. Now, of course, that aspect should be done seeing the living entities in relationship with Krishna. And there are so many people in this world who open hospitals, they open schools, they open old age homes for old people. But so they are trying to remove the sufferings of people. They are trying to open the hospital where people can be freely treated. Now, recently, I saw some hospital in the North India with almost 100, more than 100 beds, total free they were announcing this treatment in this hospital going to be always free of cost. Anyone can walk in, not a penny, not a dime will be charged. So you're trying to remove the sufferings of people. Diseased people can go there, and any kind of treatment free of charge. So it's trying to remove the sufferings. So does that mean that it's very pleasing to the Lord? It's no, not necessarily. Of course, they have some sukriti, they have some pious credit, but that's not necessarily pleasing to the Lord. The pleasing to the Lord is when you see the living entities in relationship to Krishna and then remove their sufferings. When Bhaktivedanta Hospital was being opened in India, in Mumbai, with Mr. Radhan Swami Maharaj, he had twofold vision. One vision was that all the devotee doctors, they should work together, because a doctor has to go to a hospital where there are non-devotees. It's an undevotional atmosphere. So it takes your mind away from Krishna. So one intention was that all the doctors and nurses, they can actually work together in a devotee atmosphere. All the devotee doctors and devotee nurses are in one place. The place saturates the vibrations of the holy name. So therefore, Maharaj said, Bhaktivedanta Hospital should always have Prabhupada's kirtan and lecture going on all the time. And since the time of inception of the hospital, you see, always, whenever you go to that hospital, Prabhupada's kirtan and lectures are being broadcast throughout the hospital. And the second and important, even more important vision that Maharaj had was, he said, every patient that comes in this hospital should be given Krishna consciousness. Along with the medical treatment, you should make a program where you can give Krishna consciousness to everyone. And Maharaj made it very clear. He said, if you cannot give Krishna consciousness to even one person who comes to this hospital, it's better to shut down this hospital. We don't want the simply hospital. We want to give every individual who comes to this hospital, give them Krishna consciousness. This is the vision. This is the consciousness which is actually very pleasing to the Lord. There are people who distribute free food in this world. Does that mean they're giving hungry people food? Right? There are a lot of, especially in US roads, when you're driving, you'll see so many homeless people. On the signals, you'll find a lot of homeless people who are actually begging food. So if somebody giving them food, they're helping them to remove their problem of hunger. Right? You are helping them. Is it pleasing to the Lord? Not necessarily. But when Ramtidev, he gave up the food, his vision was, oh, these are the living entities who are part and parcel of Krishna. They are suffering so much. Let me give them some food. Let me give them some prasad. Even if I have to starve, if I can provide the food to all of them because they are part and parcel of Krishna, I will be satisfied. That kind of distribution of food is very pleasing to Krishna. So Lord Shiva similarly had this conscience. You are not thinking, oh, demigods and demons, they are working for nectar so that, there will be some balance in the universal administration, because demons are more powerful now. The demigods will also drink nectar. They'll also become powerful. They'll be good in administration. He was not thinking any of that. The only reason Lord Shiva drank the poison is this will be very pleasing to Krishna. Because the Lord is very pleased when you try to remove the sufferings of living entities who are his part and parcels. This vision is so crucial. We shouldn't be wasting our time trying to help people to remove their suffering. You might remove their suffering, one or two sufferings in this world, but with karmic backlog, they will continue to suffer more and more. So what is required is giving them Krishna consciousness. Because that is what will actually make a permanent solution to all the sufferings of living entity. So Lord Shiva agreed, And Mother Parvati, she gave the permission because she's also Vaishnavi. So she gave permission. So Lord Shiva came to the site and he collected all the poison that had, was generated because of churning into his two hands. He actually accumulated by his mystic powers. He collected all the poison in his two hands and drank it all. But while drinking, few drops of that halahal poison fell to the ground. And some living entities like snakes and scorpions and dogs, jackals, and some of the herbs, some of the creepers, they drank the portion of that poison. And therefore, you see, the mosquitoes, the snakes, the scorpions, their bites are very poisonous. And how do we understand it's poisonous? Because that depletes our immunity, our physical strength. They have a very tiny portion of poison, Like, other day I was reading Scorpio. It puts a very, very tiny portion of poison in our body. If that portion of poison, it's like not even a speck, or you can say, 10,000 part of even a drop. It puts a very, very such a tiny portion of poison. But the effect of that poison, when a Scorpio bites you, it creates so much disturbance in the body. Person can't breathe, can't swallow, or can't even drink the water. Therefore, they say, in Hindi, there is saying, "Bichu ka kaanta pani bina maange." When the Scorpio bites you, you can't even drink water. The body gets so disturbed, and such a tiny speck of poison. And that poison got distributed in all the poisons and different living entities. So you can imagine what was the intensity of the poison that Lord Shiva drank. Because that poison was not an ordinary poison. It was poison emanating from the churning of milk ocean. It had effect even on the body of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva had a beautiful golden form. The complexion, bodily complexion of Lord Shiva is golden. On that golden form, when he drank this poison, the poison showed its effect on the neck of Lord Shiva. So when the poison was passing through the neck of Lord Shiva, and of course Lord Shiva digested it in the neck itself. But because it was a very powerful poison, it showed the effect on the body of Lord Shiva, and his throat became bluish. And therefore Lord Shiva is called as Nilakantha, the Lord with blue throat. On the beautiful golden form, that blue line on the throat, it looks so beautiful. So Lord is actually the form of the Lord, which is compassion on all the living entities. The Lord drank the poison simply to benefit all the living entities and to save the whole universe. So this Nilakantha form of Lord Shiva is worshipped as a compassionate form of the Lord. Now, of course, the churning continued. The demigods and demons, they were again enthused because the poison is gone now. So they continued churning. So when they continued churning, different ratnas appeared. So it is said that there are 14 ratnas. The 14 jewels appeared from the churning of milk ocean. So ratna doesn't mean the stone diamond, but this is in the sense of some brilliant things, extraordinary things. Therefore, they are called jewel. Like we sometimes say, Stri Ratna. Like Chanakya Pandit say, Stri Ratna Dushkuladapi. One should accept a woman, even if she's born in a very degraded family. If she's Stri Ratna, she's like a jewel among the women. That means if she's endowed with wonderful virtues and qualities, like chastity, beauty, good behavior, soft speech. These are the things which actually make a woman as a jewel, as a ratna. So if the woman is ratna, Stri ratna, born in a dushkula, in a degraded family, she'll still be accepted. So ratna, in that sense, is something that is brilliant. Ratna generally shines. The diamond generally shines. So something that is brilliant, very extraordinary, can be called as ratna. So poison was the first ratna because it was extraordinary poison. It even had the effect on the Lord Shiva's throat. So it's the first ratna. The second ratna appeared from the churning of was Surabhi cow. So this Surabhi cow is the mother of all the cows. She's actually the cow from the spiritual world. Surabhi Abhipalayantam. Krishna has, in fact, number of Surabhi cows in the spiritual world. So ordinary cow can give milk, and limited milk she can give. Only in the morning, evening, certain times she can give a little bit of milk, But Surabhi cow can give not only milk, unlimited milk, but you can ask Surabhi cow whatever you want and she will give. So Surabhi cow, you can say inferior version of Surabhi cow is Kamadhenu cow. So the Jamadagni, he had a Kamadhenu cow. And when Kartavir Arjun came to his hermitage with his huge army, by the dint of Kamadhenu cow, Jamadagni provided every kind of foodstuffs, very opulent foodstuffs to Kartavir Arjun and his army. So Kartavir Arjun was very much amazed. He thought that, in the middle of the forest, this sage is living and he's providing such excellent food. He's more opulent than me, because the food that was provided by, this Kamadhenu cow of Jamadagni was of much, much more superior quality than even in the palace. So Surabhi cow appeared. And the great sages, they came forward and they told us, the demigods and demons, that we will take charge of this cow. Because sages always want the cow, because cow gives milk, and from milk you can extract ghee. And ghee can be used to perform yajnas. So they begged, and the demigods and demons happily agreed, and they gave the cow to sages. Then, when the churning continued, the next thing appeared was the horse. Pure milkish white horse. The entire body of that horse was white. And Bali Maharaj expressed the desire, I want to take this horse. The name of the horse was Uchchai Shrava. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Uchchai Shrava Ashwana. Among the horses, I am Uchchai Shrava. So you'll never see a milkish white horse. And it was an extraordinary horse. It can actually go with the speed of mind, practically the speed of mind. So Bali Maharaj expressed the desire to take the horse, possess that horse. And Indra did not mind it. He allowed that, okay, because he was advised by the Lord. So many things will appear, and if demons want to take, let them take whatever they want. Don't, oppose. Because your target, your focus should be on the Amrit, the nectar. So Indra did not mind. And then appeared Airavata, the white elephant. And this elephant had 4 tusks. The ordinary elephant had 2 tusks, but this elephant had 4 tusks. And Indra took the possession of this. And demons did not mind, because Bali Maharaj already took the Chaishava. So Airavata was taken by Indra. Now, 8 elephants appeared after that. They were called Dikpalas, like they balance the 8 directions. And they appeared with 8 female elephants. So these are all 16 male and female elephants. They are considered one Ratna only. Okay. So they appeared. And they went to balance the directions of the Bhumandala. Then, when the churning Kaustuba Mani appeared, this Kaustuba jewel is not to be found anywhere in the material world. It's only one unique jewel, in material and spiritual creation. Even in the spiritual world, there is nothing like Kaustuba Mani. So the Lord Ajita, because he was also participating in the churning, so he expressed the desire. And everyone agreed that yes, Ajita, because he had helped so much. So the Lord took that Kaustuba Mani to decorate his chest. Then the Parijat Mani appeared. The Parijat flower in the tree, Parijat tree appeared from the churning of milk ocean. And because Parijat tree was full of flowers, beautiful fragrant flowers, and demons don't care so much of the flowers and all. They want intense sense gratifications. So the demigods, they took the position of Parijat to decorate the heavenly planets. And demons did not mind. Then appeared the Apsaras, the beautiful, young girls. But because Apsaras, they are all sattvic ladies, the demons were not interested in them so much. So they became the property of the heaven. They're used as society girls of the heaven. And when the churning still continued, next appeared was Rama Devi. Rama, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Lakshmi Devi, she appeared. And she had such beautiful form. And of course, she had beautiful form. Now, demons and demigods, they naturally desire to possess a beautiful woman, right? But because she's the mother of all the living entities, nobody desired to have her as their wife. But they understood that she's very opulent. So they all desired to have the blessings from her to possess the wealth. Indra brought a beautiful throne for her, and made her sit on that. Holy rivers on the surface of the earth, they actually brought water in the kalashas, their own water in the kalashas, and they started pouring on her to do abhishek to her. The Bhumi Devi, she collected all the herbs for performing the installation ceremony, like, the deity of Lakshmi is installed. Similarly, to install her in this creation, she brought all kinds of herbs. The cows, they brought panchagavyas, that is milk, yogurt, ghee, cow dung and cow urine, which are considered very auspicious. They brought those panchagavyas for Lakshmi Devi. And then the season of the spring, the personified seasons of the spring, she brought all kinds of fruits and flowers for the pleasure of Lakshmi Devi. Sages, they actually performed the abhishek of Mother Lakshmi. And Gandharvas, they chanted beautiful prayers. The Apsaras and the beautiful wives of the sages, they danced and sang the glories of Lakshmi Devi. Ocean was the father of, Lakshmi Devi. He gave her upper and lower garments, which were actually yellow silken garments. And Varuna, he brought a beautiful flower garland to offer to Mother Lakshmi. Vishwakarma, he brought beautiful ornaments. Mother Saraswati brought a necklace for the neck of Mother Lakshmi. And Lord Brahma, he brought a lotus flower. So you see, Lakshmi Devi always has a lotus flower in the hand. So Brahma gave her a lotus flower. And the Nagas from the inhabitants of Nagalokas, they brought the earrings for Lakshmi Devi. So the form of Lakshmi was so beautiful. She had a very beautiful breast, without any gap between, and they were symmetrical, perfectly symmetrical. The breast of Lakshmi Devi was smeared with sandalwood pulp and kumkum powder. And she had a very thin waist. When she was walking, the ankle bells were jingling very softly. And when she was walking, it appeared like a very beautiful, because she had a golden complexion. It appeared like a golden creeper is moving. Now, holding the garland in her hand, the beautiful garland in her hand, she was going around in the assembly of demons and demigods who momentarily stopped churning the milk ocean. So she was actually trying to look for a husband, because a beautiful young woman, who's actually not Swarmi, who's not independent, she always, likes to have a husband who can actually guide her in all respects. So Lakshmi Devi, she was going around to find a suitable husband, but she couldn't find a faultless person. She started contemplating, and this is actually a very wonderful lesson, that she was actually, through this process of looking for a suitable husband, she was glorifying the Supreme Lord. So she's going around and she sees, oh, here is somebody who has done great austerities, but they have not conquered their anger. Just like Durvasa Muni, for example. Of course, Durvasa Muni was not there to be chosen, but like Durvasa Muni, there are a lot of people in this world who are very austere, performed severe austerities, but they have no control over anger. They cannot conquer the anger. Durvasa Muni is known for his anger. He's very austere sage, but he gets very angry very quickly. And he ended up in offending Ambarish Maharaj. Similarly, she said, there are people who have knowledge in this assembly, but they cannot give up attachment. You see, knowledge means when we understand I am not this body, I am spirit, soul. Soul cannot be satisfied with anything material, because soul does not relish anything material. We have this knowledge, but we still cannot give up attachment from the body. We still want to eat nice food, though the nice food is only for the body. The soul doesn't get any relishment from eating nice food. The food does not even touch the soul. So there are people who are knowledgeable in this world, but they cannot give attachment. Like Brihaspati, he's so knowledgeable. Brihaspati is the guru of demigods. He's so knowledgeable. But from Bhagavatam, we understand he kidnapped the wife of his brother, Tara, and he raped her. Why? Because cannot give up attachment for bodily sense gratification. There are people in this world who have immense power, but they are controlled by the lust, like Brahma. Brahma has immense power. How much power Brahma has? He is the one who writes everyone's destiny. Every living entity born in this world, Brahma, it is said, he comes and writes on the forehead of that living entity their destiny. He's Vidhi, Vidhata. Can you imagine? Deciding everyone's life, who will live how long, how much happiness, distress they will experience. That is power of Brahma. But even Brahma was controlled by the lust. He ran after his own daughter to have sexual union. There are people who follow dharma, but they're not very kind or friendly to all. So Shukracharya, for example, he's a very staunch person who follows dharma. He will never do anything that is adharma. But then he's envious of demigods. He's favorable to demons, but he's envious of. Similarly, there are people in this world who are very much charitable. They give a lot of charity, but they're not interested in liberation, like Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati performs so many sacrifices. Every sacrifice means you have to give a lot of charity. Sacrifice does not mean a Brahmana comes and performs again, then, okay, goodbye. No. You have to give a lot of charity to each and every priest. All the sages and Brahmanas who come, you have to give a lot of charity. So Daksha gives a lot of charity. But he's not interested in liberation. He wants to continue enjoying the life in the material world. There are people who are very strong, but they cannot prevent the attack of time. Like demons, Shumba, Nishumba, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they are so powerful demons. Ravana had lifted the whole, Kailash on his hands. But they cannot check the force of time. There are people who are very powerful in this world, but they also tend to lose shelter. Like for example, Indra. Indra, he's the king of heavenly planet, but sometimes he's driven out of heavenly planets. From time to time, he's thrown out of heavenly planet by demons, and he has to run here and there. And then she contemplated, there are people who are devoid of attraction to anything material, but they don't also have any attraction to spiritual qualities. Like the Chatush Kumaras. The Chatush Kumaras, they are completely detached from everything material. But Rama Devi is thinking they don't even have attraction to any spiritual form or spiritual qualities. So Rama Devi, she has a spiritual form. She doesn't have a material body. So her spiritual form and the fragrance of her body will be all useless for Kumaras. Some people have long life, but they don't have piety or auspiciousness, like Bali Maharaj, for example. He has a long life. He's a Chiranjeevi, but he does not have auspiciousness. Auspiciousness means the good conduct, for example. He is envious of Indra. Or similarly, you can say Lord Shiva, for example. He has eternal life, but he has a habit of living in cremation or crematoriums. Now, women wouldn't like to live in the crematorium. Of course, Mother Parvati, she's chaste wife of Lord Shiva. She loves to follow Lord Shiva wherever he goes. But in this way, Mother Lakshmi was trying to find faults in everyone in order to glorify the Lord. Not that she was offensive to Lord Shiva or anyone, but she was trying to find faults in everyone to glorify the Lord. She said there are people who are pious and auspicious, but they do not have long life. People have long life, they do not have auspiciousness. People who have auspiciousness and pious, they don't have long life, like the sons of Manu. They're all auspicious. Priyavrat Maharaj or Uttanapad Maharaj, they were all pious people. They had all auspicious qualities, but their lifespan is very short because they're human beings. And finally, she came to Lord Vishnu and she said, there is a person who has no fault, free from all the flaws. He has all the auspicious qualities. But then she started finding fault with him also. She said, but he's not interested in me. He doesn't care for me. So this particular flaw in the Supreme Lord, Mother Lakshmi is finding this flaw simply to glorify the Lord. That the Lord does not even have any attraction to Mother Lakshmi. The only thing that can attract the Lord is devotees, the devotional service. Of course, Mother Lakshmi is a devotee. And therefore, Lord Vishnu has tremendous love for her as a devotee, not as a Lakshmi, as a great personality. As a devotee, he loves her. So Lakshmi she placed that garland on the shoulder of Lord, and she attained the shelter at the chest of the Lord. She resides on the chest of the Lord as golden threads. So you know, the form of the Lord is bluish, you know, the dark complexion Lord, having the golden hair on his chest. You know, like, you know, men also have some hair on their chest, black color hair. Devi resides in the form of golden hair on the chest of the Lord, on the left side of the chest of the Lord. So that on that dark complexion form of the Lord, this golden hair looks very beautiful. You know? So Lakshmi Devi eternally resides there. And because she resides in the chest of the Lord, she always looks at the devotees who come in front of the Lord. Now, when we go and take darshan of the Lord, we should know that, you know, the Lakshmi Devi who is seated on the chest of the Lord is also showering her blessings on us, the merciful glance on us. So anyone who goes to the temple and has darshan of the Lord every day is bound to become, you know, blessed by Lakshmi Devi. So when she chose Lord as her husband, there were musical instruments played. The wives of demigod, they started dancing. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Angila Rishi, and the great sages, they offered, you know, beautiful hymns in the praise of the Lord and Lakshmi Devi. So in this way, Lakshmi Devi actually chose the Supreme Lord, the Lord Vishnu, as her husband. Now, the demigods, they were blessed by Lakshmi Devi. So they naturally became endowed with good behavior and all the auspicious qualities. And they were very happy. Even though they were churning the milk ocean, it was very tiring, but they became happy because of the blessings of Lakshmi Devi. But Mother Lakshmi, she completely neglected the demons. And therefore the demons, they tend to lose powers. They became more greedy. They became inactive and shameless. So when you find people like that in this world who are shameless, who are lazy, who are greedy, you know for sure that they are the blessings of Lakshmi Devi. Now, when you talk about blessings of Lakshmi, doesn't mean that, you know, the Lakshmi's blessings are the money. People generally think if I have a lot of money, then I am blessed by Lakshmi Devi. No. That's a mistaken idea because people don't read the scriptures. They don't understand what are the real blessings of Lakshmi. There are Ashta Lakshmis, the 8 kind of Lakshmis. You know, they actually give blessings to devotees only. So Dhana Lakshmi is, for example, gives a lot of dhana, a lot of wealth. Dhanya Lakshmi gives a lot of eatables, nice foodstuffs. Now, some people may have a lot of money, but they have diseases. They cannot even eat nice food. They have to eat blend food, you know, without any salt, without any spices, without any sugar. People have diabetes. They can't even eat sweets. You know, so this is because of the deprived. They are deprived of the Dhanya Lakshmi. They cannot eat nice foodstuffs. So they don't really have blessings. So people who have money, but they have diseases, they don't have Lakshmi. But there is another personality in the Veda which is described as Alakshmi. Alakshmi is the goddess of misfortunes. She also brings, you know, exactly same thing that Lakshmi brings. But she brings misfortunes. Like, for example, Mother Sita, she is Lakshmi. Okay. So with Lord Ramchandra, she is Lakshmi. She's the goddess of fortune. But same Lakshmi, when she went to Lanka, because it was brought by Adharma, by Ravana, she became Alakshmi. She destroyed the entire Lanka. She destroyed the entire family of Ravana. And all the demons who were residing in Lanka, they were destroyed. So this is what Alakshmi does. Alakshmi brings misfortunes. So Ravana, he had golden Lanka, he had so many fortunes, but because he brought Alakshmi, Mother Sita in the form of Alakshmi, he was destroyed. So similarly, in this world, when you find people, all of a sudden they get a lot of money, but that money brings a lot of misfortune in their family. They have quarrels, sadness, or some near and dear one passing away. So you should know that it is Alakshmi. And the person loses the desire to even serve Krishna. Having a lot of money, sometimes people become indifferent to Krishna consciousness. So that is nothing, it's not Lakshmi, it is Alakshmi. Therefore, in Sri Shuktam, the prayers to Mother Lakshmi, there is a beautiful verse. It says, Alakshmi me nashyatam tvam brane. Oh Mother Lakshmi, by your blessings, please destroy my Alakshmi. For example, another Lakshmi is Santana Lakshmi. So when Lakshmi blesses you with Santan, with children, they bring you a lot of happiness. But some people, they have children, they bring tremendous misery in their life. Like Chitraketu Maharaj. He had a child, but the child brought so much misery in his life. So everything that Lakshmi brings, Dhana Dhanya, Santana Lakshmi, Vidya Lakshmi, Jaya Lakshmi, Vijaya Lakshmi, Gaja Lakshmi, these are different Lakshmis who bring different blessings. But same blessing can be brought by a Lakshmi as well. So demons, they were deprived of the blessings of Lakshmi Devi. And of course, the demon demigod, they continued to churn. The next thing that appeared was Varuni. Varuni is the food of Varunadev. Varunadev, he actually drinks a beverage called Varuni. So the Lord gave permission and demons took possession of Varuni. So liquor is actually more or less what demons took possession of. So this Varuni is intoxicating. So demons took possession of it. They are very much fond of drinking Varuni. And finally, when they continued to churn, a very beautiful male person appeared from the churning of the milk ocean. This person had a beautiful form. He had a long, thick and strong arms. His neck was like a conch shell. His eyes were a little reddish. And he had a blackish complexion, dark complexion. He was wearing a garland and all kinds of ornaments throughout his body. The garment we are wearing was yellow garments. He had jeweled earrings, and the curly locks of hair around his head. They were shining hair. His chest was broad. And he appeared powerful like a lion. He was wearing the beautiful bangles in his arms, and his hands he was holding a jar, a pot of nectar. That was the beautiful form of Lord Dhanvantari. He was the Vishnu Amsha, the portion of Lord Vishnu. And this particular form of the Lord was conversant in the science of Ayurveda. And of course, he had also shared in the Vedic sacrifices. He enjoyed the share in all the Vedic sacrifices. So demons, as soon as they saw, wow, the nectar has appeared, they went forward and no offering of pranams or obeisance or showing gratitude to God. They simply snatched away the pot from the hands of Dhanvantari and ran away. Now, demigods, when they saw this, they became very much dejected. And taking shelter of the Lord, they turned to the Lord and they started taking shelter of the Lord. My dear Lord, please, we put so much effort and the nectar is gone. The Lord had informed the demigods, till the time you drink nectar, don't start any battle or fight with demons. So demigods remembered that. So even though the nectar was taken away by force, the demigod did not start fight. They simply turned to the Lord. The Lord assured the demigods, don't worry, I will create quarrel among demons by my illusory energy. By my Maya Shakti, I will create quarrel among them and they will not be able to drink. So, by the influence of the Lord, the demons started quarreling and fighting with each other. Aham purvam, natvam, natvam, iti prabhu. So, they were fighting. Aham purvam, I will drink first. I will drink first. Not you, not you. So, in this way, demons, though they had nectar in their hands, they couldn't drink it. Because this is what the demonic mentality does to you. It does not let you or let even others enjoy. They had a full opportunity to drink the nectar. But because they were demons, they were quarrelsome, they couldn't drink it. And there were some demons who were actually weak. They couldn't fight with the powerful demons. The powerful demons were holding the nectar. They were passing to each other, so that nobody should snatch from them. So the weak demons who couldn't fight, they started using the verbal argument. They said, demigods also have taken, part in this churning. They have also labored a lot. So they should also receive proper share. They were trying to say that the demigods we will also get some share. Otherwise, these powerful demons will not let us drink. So in this way, apparently talking about dharma, and they should give share to demigods also. They were trying to oppose the demons. They were not letting them drink. Nobody could drink the nectar. So I think it'll be 8:32. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Prabhu, sorry, I didn't realize it's only 8:32.
No. It's
how
very.
much time we have more? How much time we have more? How long we can go on?
Time is at 11:30, but you can continue if you. How much time you think it will take?
I don't know. I'll try to complete as early as possible. I'll not go into details now. Okay.
Sure.
So the demons were fighting with each other and they couldn't drink. Then the Lord took a beautiful form of a woman. This woman was known as Mohini Murti. Appeared as Mohini Murti. This Mohini Murti had dark complexion like a blue lotus. She was so beautifully decorated. She had beautiful breasts and wearing nice garment. And I will not go to the details of the form of Lakshmi, this Mohini Murti. But this Mohini Murti was so charming, so beautiful. And when the demons were throwing colors to each other and not letting each other drink, she started walking. She glanced over the demons and she started walking toward the demons. Demons saw, oh, she's coming towards us, such a beautiful woman. And the Lord had appeared in this form of woman simply to cheat the demons. So he was coming toward the demons, and demons, they became little sober because, whenever people who are demonic, they fight with each other when they see some beautiful woman appearing, they try to act as sober. So demons, they became little sober. They were actually thieves. They had a nature of thieves. They were snatching pots from each other and throwing here and there, But when they saw the beautiful woman coming towards them, they became a little sober. And they actually approached her, started talking to her, And of course, the talks of demons are not very much appreciated. This is how generally demons try to be aggressive and seduce the woman. So they approached the Mohini and they said, oh, what a beautiful body. What a lustrous body you have. You look so youthful and beauty. They started praising her, with so much emotions. They started inquiring from her, who are you? Where did you come from? Whose daughter you are? Now, of course, the demons could have asked whose wife you are also. But because they were lusty in intention, and of course, they are demons, so they also know the art of whether the woman is married or not. So they could understand that she's not married. So they said, whose daughter you are? Looks like you are you have come here to looking for a husband. You see, we, the demons and demigods, we are sons of Kashyapa Muni. But now we are engaged in animosity towards each other. Now they're including demigods also, that they are also envious. They're saying we are engaged in animosity towards each other only because of one subject matter, this pot of nectar. So why don't you help us to resolve the quarrel and equally distribute among all of us? Now you see, the demons, they snatched away the pot from Dhanvantari. The Lord had appeared in the form of Dhanvantari. He would not have given only nectar to demigods. He would have given to demons and demigods equally. Right? But they snatched away from him. And now the Lord appeared as a beautiful woman, and they anticipate to have union with the woman. So to seduce her, they are saying, here, you take this pot of nectar and distribute among us equally. They wanted to appear to be nice people. They are the ones who started the quarrel. Demigods did not start the quarrel. They are the ones who were trying to snatch. But now the Lord came with the intention of cheating the cheaters. They were cheaters. They were thieves. So Lord came to cheat them. The Lord would have equally distributed to all of them. But because the demons have cheating mentality, the Lord decided to cheat them. So when they were offering the pot of nectar to Mohini, the Mohini said, well, you people are sons of Kashyapa. You said you are sons of Kashyapa, right? So how is it that you are putting trust in a prostitute like me? Because she referred herself as prostitute because she said, you see, a woman who is independent and swarni, who does not have a protector, she should be regarded as prostitute because a woman who is actually independent and does not have a protector, it's very less likely that she would have control of her mind. She will go here and there and try to, enjoy with every man possible. So she said, I am independent here, I am swarni. How can you put your trust in an independent woman who's like a prostitute? So demons thought, oh, she's calling herself prostitute. So she's humble. She's very humble. And because the Mohini was glancing on them and with so much, affection, they thought, oh, she's actually attracted to us. She's very kind to us. But she's very humble at the same time. So say, no, you please distribute it. So they were forcibly giving her the pot of nectar. She said, okay, I will do it. But I don't have experience of resolving disputes like this. You have to agree on one condition. You will agree to whatever way I distribute. If you agree that, because I'm not experienced, I may do something wrong, I may give somebody a little more, somebody less. If you are agreeing that, you will agree to whatever I do this job. And they say, yeah, don't worry, you just take this pot. And they happily gave it because they were thinking, she's so afraid, because she's thinking she might do some mistake. So she'll be extra cautious. She'll not be doing any mistake. But the Lord was speaking out of deception. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, among the cheaters, he is Dyuta Mishalayatan. So if somebody is a cheater, the Lord acts as a greater cheat than him. Nobody can be greater cheat than the Lord. The Lord spoke such deceptive words and he confirmed with all of them that you will agree to whatever I do, distributing the gum. And everybody agreed, yes, you can do whatever you want. This is the nature of the Lord. The Lord does not, even cheating he does upfront. So he's confirming from the demon that you will agree to whatever I do. Even if I do inappropriately distribute, you will agree to that. And they said, yes, we agree. Because demons wanted to have the favor of Mohini. They did not want to have favor of Dhanvantri or the Supreme Lord. They wanted to have favor of Mohini. Because they had exploitative mentality. So Mohini, she took the pot of nectar, and the demigods and demons, they fasted for the day, and next morning they actually came and took shower and everything. They performed duties, and they assembled in an assembly to drink nectar. Now Mohini, she arranged the demigods to sit on the one side, demons on the one side, because she had intention of not giving any nectar to demons. So she told the demons, first she went to demons with a pot of nectar, and she told them, you know what, look at these demigods, they are so impatient. So if you don't mind, I know you people are such great and patient, and you have so much patience, you have control on your mind and senses. If you don't mind, I'll just first feed them a little bit, I'll distribute them, and then I'll come and feed all of you, the huge quantity of nectar. And they were mesmerized. Wow, she has so much love for us. She has so much affection for us. She's also attracted to us. Yes, you do whatever you like. So Mohini started distributing the nectar to demigods. So she said, I'll distribute little, but the demons could see that she was pouring so much nectar in the cups of demigods, as if the whole nectar will be finished in the demigods alone. Now, demons could see that, but still, there was certain reason they couldn't, argue with Mohini. Because first of all, they had agreed that whatever she does, do it. So they did not want to break their promise. They were attracted to her. They were, they wanted very much to look good in the eyes of Mohini. And, they were afraid that if they start, stopping her, she might start quarreling with them. They didn't want to start a quarrel with the woman. And they wanted to be in the good books of Lakshmi Devi and the Mohini movie, because they had exploitative mentality. So they did not argue. They kept patience. But one demon named, I think name was Swarbhanu, Rahu, he took the form of demigods and sat in the assembly of demigods. So the Supreme Lord in the form of Mohini, not that he is ignorant. He saw and he recognized, but he acted as if he did not recognize. So he gave nectar to Rahu, and Rahu drank it. He put the nectar in his mouth, and that very moment, sun and moon, they recognized him. They told, my dear Lord, he's a demon actually. So the Lord took a Sudarshan Chakra and chopped off the head of Rahu. So though the nectar was in his mouth only, it has not gone down the throat. The head was chopped off, but because the head was still having the nectar, the head survived. But the body was not touched by the nectar, so it fell apart. So the Lord purposefully did this. He let the Rahu drink nectar because he wanted to show the power of the nectar. The mouth was touched by the nectar, therefore it survived. The body was not touched, therefore it fell apart. Or some Puranas say, they say the body was also touched by the nectar, so the head became the Rahu and the body became the Ketu. So Ketu is considered a headless body, in the Vedic astrology. So these are the two planets. Bhagavatam says Rahu was accepted by Brahma as planet. And till this day, Rahu, because he saw that sun and moon, they recognize him. So he tries to eclipse them in the form of Rahu and Ketu. And of course, then ensued the tremendous war, because after distributing all the nectar to demigods, the Lord, as Mohini Murti, disclosed his identity, that he is actually the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. And the demons became so that we have been cheated by the demigods. Vishnu has cheated us and fed the nectar to demigods. But it was too late. So they started the war, and that was a Devasur Sangram. On the bank of the Kshirosagar, there was a terrible fight. The fight which has never occurred ever in the history of mankind. It was called Devasur Sangram. It was a very fearsome fight. Mankind has never seen such a battle after that, or even before that. Even the battle of Kurukshetra was not so fearsome as is Devasur Sangram. Therefore, whenever people sometimes fight, they fight fiercely, they say, Devasur Sangram kar rahe ho kya? Devasur Sangram chal raha hai. For fighting fiercely. But Shukdev Goswami summarizes this pastime with one of the beautiful verses, which I will just read and then we can understand that. He says, Evam sura suragana samadesha kala hetu artha karma matayopi phale vikalpa tatra amrita suragana palam agyasapu yatpada pankaja raja shranam nadaitya. So, this verse, Shukdev Goswami says, Evam suragana samadesha kala. So for both Sura and Asura, they had sama, equal. What equal? Sama desha. They were in the same place, the milk ocean. Kala. They were at the same time. Not that one person did it at one time, another person at a time. They were together actually churning the milk ocean. Sama hetava. Their hetu was also same. They both wanted to drink the nectar. Artha, their purpose, of churning, artha means the benefit that they were expecting was the nectar. Karma, they engage in the same activity also. Both demons and demigods, they were churning, same activity. Mataya, their consciousness was also same. Demons did not want to give nectar to demigods, and demigods wanted not to give nectar to demons. Their consciousness was also same, cheating mentality. Api phale vikalpa. So they had same mentality, same time, same place, same hetu, same artha, same karma, and yet phale vikalpa. The result was completely opposite. What was the opposite result? Tatra amrita suragana. The suras, they could drink the nectar. But demons did not get even a drop of it. Why? Because yat pada pankaja raja sharanya. So the demigods, they take the shelter of the lotus. Therefore, there was a completely contradictory result. So, know for sure. Sometimes people, they say, karma ka phal hai. But karma was same for demons and demigods. They both did not get the same results. So what is most crucial is taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. One who takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet can get all the results. But a person, no matter how much meritorious work he may perform, how much effort he may put, how much planning may have, how much brilliant the person may be in planning and intelligence, if a person is devoid of shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, will never have any auspicious result. So this entire, katha of the Deva and Asuras churning the milk ocean together is giving this beautiful lesson by Shukdev Goswami that we should always seek shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Of course, this Leela is not yet finished. After that, Lord Shiva, he desired to see this Mohini Murti form, and the Lord bewildered Lord Shiva also by showing the Mohini Murti form. But that is something beyond the scope. It will take a very long time to even discuss that portion of the Leela. But we'll conclude with this session, this lesson, that if we want to have the auspicious results of our endeavor, because whole life is nothing but an endeavor. We are struggling. We are trying to perform our duties, fulfill our obligations to our family, at our workplace. We do not have shelter of Krishna. All the results that we will derive will be inauspicious only. But when we take Krishna on day-to-day basis, and if possible moment-to-moment basis, then we will have all auspicious results. And the easiest way to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet is, Srila Prabhupada, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us, to chant the holy names of the Lord. So we should very attentively chant the names of Krishna every day and seek shelter at his feet, because that chanting alone will bring all auspiciousness in our life. If we do not have chanting of the holy names of the Lord, no matter what we do in our life will be filled with inauspiciousness. So with this, we'll end the session. If anyone has any questions, you may ask. I know it's already late, but if anyone has one or two questions, we can take, and otherwise we can stop.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I do not feel like it's as if it's very touching, and it's very nice. So nice, Prabhuji.
Okay.
And let's see if anyone has any questions. Unless I don't know, based on your time, Prabhuji, maybe you can, if you have time, maybe you can take a couple of questions. If anyone has any questions,
sure.
Let's open up, Prabhuji.
One or two questions.
Hare Krishna devotees, anyone has any questions?
Feel free to unmute and speak if you have any. Okay, if no questions, I think we can stop here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, devotees.
Thank you
Hare
so much,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpataru kripa sindhu patitam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo ananta koti vaishnava